Staying in shape is hard, and eating right, that's even harder. And no matter what, life just always seems to get in the way. We all have that little number that we keep in our head, that number that as soon as you see it, you know that you have to change something in your life. Well, I finally hit mine. Like most people, I tried the usual ways to get in shape, but I felt like it was fighting an uphill battle. So I decided to go full nerd mode. What if I could hack fitness with tech? So I spent the last 3 months testing out fitness gadgets and apps to see if they would actually work or if they're just some expensive gimmick. And now I'm going to share my results with you so that you can see if you want to pull these hacks into your life. Look, I know that 204 pounds is not super heavy, but I've always been a thinner guy, and it's by far the most that I've ever weighed. So this is what I looked like with my shirt off at the beginning of this challenge. And man, this is just super embarrassing to share with you all. But I really think it's important to share everything through this whole process. I've got a total of 8 different fitness and health products that I'm going to be testing out during this video. I'll show you the basics of how each of them works, and I'll give you a rating of how helpful they were for me on my fitness journey. First, I'm going to show you the Lumen Metabolic Tracker. Next, I'm going to show you the Ninja Blender. And then after that, I'm going to go over 3 different apps in VR to help you exercise. The VR games that we're testing out are going to be Thrill the Fight 2, and Les Mills Body Combat. After that, I'm going to test out a couple of fitness apps. The first one I'm going to try is the FitBod app, and then after that, I'm going to move to the Built with Science app. And the last thing I'm testing is going to be a bit of a surprise because it's not quite a tech product, but it helped me with my nutrition way more than I would like to admit. So I'm using the Lumen Metabolic Tracker to track my diet. You blow into it every day and it gives you a number. That number determines how much your body is burning either fat or carbs. Now, most people think you just want to burn fat all the time, but actually you want a healthy mix of the two. The goal is to increase your metabolic flexibility as much as you can. And it gives you a flex score that tells you how well your metabolism is performing. The app actually has a whole meal tracker. I will say the meal tracker is the worst part of the entire thing. The sections in it are not great, but it's useful because you pair that with seeing what the numbers you blow into the Lumen are, and you get some useful insights from it. Now, I don't need the Lumen that tell me these 2 things are the biggest cause to my weight gain. That is Dr. Pepper and beer, my 2 favorite things probably in the entire world right now. But I've got to cut them out of my diet. So if I can break the 4th wall here for a minute, I haven't had either a beer or a Dr. Pepper for 2 to 3 weeks right now, and it's taking every bit of willpower I have not to just open these and chug them. Now I need to go change my shirt. I spent 1 whole month using the Lumen and then checking my weight. I learned a ton about how the Lumen really works and about how they use it as a tool. Over that month, I blew into the Lumen several times and checked my weight every single day. Then I blew into the Lumen again and checked my weight again and again and again. I did see some quick changes. I lost about 10 pounds really quickly, but then I found out there was a huge problem. While cutting out Dr. Pepper and that beer gave me some quick results, those gains were really short-lived. And once I understood how the Lumen really worked, I figured out why. It turns out that following the Lumen's advice is meant to help improve your metabolic flexibility, not to lose weight. It doesn't even recommend a calorie amount. While I boosted my flex score, I wasn't losing weight anymore. I specifically remember one boost day that I had to force myself to eat some granola and Greek yogurt just so I could hit my recommended macros. I woke up the next morning blowing a 1, which was awesome, but then I posted on the Lumen Facebook page about how hard it was to get in my macros, and someone commented on the picture and it showed that I consumed over 4,000 calories. I give the Lumen Metabolic Tracker a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Now, there's several reasons for this, but the biggest one probably comes down to cost. While the device is extremely helpful in figuring out your metabolism, to get there, you have to do a starting cost of $199. That's assuming there's no sales going on. Then it's a $19 a month subscription to continue using the app and getting all the functionality. And by the way, all that extra functionality that you get, a lot of it is the meal tracker, which I've already told you is pretty terrible as it is anyway. After that, I was done eating better, and I decided to go on a full-fledged diet. I had to learn how to really eat properly. One thing that helped a ton was purchasing a Ninja blender. I also got deep into meal prep. I started making smoothies, eating more vegetables, and really watching my calories. I give the Ninja blender 4.5 out of 5 stars. When it comes to cost, I ended up purchasing mine right at $89.99. I know that you can get different models that might work better for you. Some of those could cost less, some could cost more. The reason it got such a good score is that it helps me consume a lot of fruit and a lot of protein, and I needed to increase both of those based on my daily macros. Most of the time I'll use it to make smoothies where I add in a banana, some Greek yogurt, some strawberries, and most importantly, a scoop of unflavored protein powder. Now, to get the most out of a Ninja blender, I recommend that you pair it with a really good meal tracking app. The next problem that I needed to fix was exercise. Luckily, I already knew of a really fun way to get started because I tried it in a different video. It was time to start boxing in VR again. So I fired up my Quest 3 and opened up Thrill of the Fight. I almost killed over.
Ladies and gentlemen, going to the scorecards, the judges have determined by unanimous decision.
Oh, no.
The match was a draw.
Oh, shit.
I give Thrill of the Fight the score of 4.5 out of 5. This gives me the best cardio that I've ever had. I mean, ever, out of anything I've ever tried. And it's significantly more fun than running. I mean, let's face it, running sucks. And the best part of all, this is only a one-time cost, there's no subscription fees, and that cost is only $9.99. Next, I tried out Thrill of the Fight 2, and I just knew that I was going to love this game, and I was unfortunately very wrong. After waiting some more, I was finally able to get into a match with somebody. This match was instantly much different than Thrill of the Fight 1. There was constant pressure, the opponent was coming forward, and I just didn't know what to do. But I was eventually able to knock him down. Then I was able to knock him down one more time, and I just knew that I had this fight in the bag. But unfortunately, my opponent was determined to not let me win, and he was able to knock me down. The fight eventually went to a decision. It was so close that I don't think either one of us knew who was going to win.
The blue corner.
My opponent came home the victor. Ultimately, I give Thrill of the Fight 2 a 2 out of 5 stars. And not just because I lost, there's a lot of things wrong with this game. The biggest problem is that there just aren't very many people online. The other part is that the wacky waving inflatable tube arm syndrome just really ruins the whole thing, makes it really hard to feel like you're actually in a fight. And when it comes to working out, it's a much slower pace, so you really don't get that good of a workout. On the flip side, it is a one-time cost of just $9.99, so just under $10. Feel like that's a pretty low cost, but if you're using this for exercise, it probably makes more sense to just get Thrill of the Fight 1, that's the exact same cost. Several comments from one of my other videos recommended that I try another VR fitness game. It turns out that there's a VR exercise game that doesn't require any subscriptions, which is amazing because I've just grown so tired of freaking subscriptions. That game is Les Mills Body Combat. Let's put on the VR headset and get sweaty.
Alrighty, let's start into front stance and let's play with some knee strike.
The workout started
And
slow
strike.
and continually got
Grab,
harder
pull,
and
weight,
harder.
strike. But now the left side, grab, weight, drive up. Dude, without that timing, it's going to be a little bit faster. It ain't over, I promise. It nearly is though. 3 shots. 1, 2, 3.
After about 15 minutes, I was getting
At least
super
we're
sweaty.
alternating now. You can use the power of rotation through your core. The best
I was
doesn't quit on
amazed at
themselves.
how
That's
good
the
of
key
a
message
workout
here.
this was.
Blue target. Yeah.
After a 20-minute workout, I was completely exhausted.
Completion was the key.
So much sweat. I give Les Mills Body Combat a rating of 4.5 out of 5. It's almost perfect. It looks and works just absolutely amazing. It is a one-time cost, which I love, and a one-time cost of $29.99, which I feel like is extremely reasonable for what you get. If I have to be nitpicky, the only downside that there is that if you want to get new content, you have to purchase it separately. But honestly, I'll take that over a forced subscription any day. Now, if you want to try using VR for exercise, there are 3 things that I highly recommend. Number 1, get one of these rubber covers for your headset so that this part doesn't soak in all that sweat. 2, get an aftermarket strap. I like using this Boba VR version. This is awesome. And 3, if you wear glasses, invest in some lenses from VR Wave. They magnetize in right here. They're super useful, they're well designed, and easy to install. While this video is absolutely not sponsored by VR Wave, I have worked with them in the past and they are just an absolute pleasure to work with. So if you like to support companies like that, then please use the link in the description. I don't make any commission off that or anything. It just shows them that I sent viewers their way, and I want to show them that I'm helping them out because I enjoyed working with them so much. Eating better and doing all that cardio was helping me lose weight, but it made me look kind of skinny fat. So next, I needed to add in a good weightlifting routine. Tracking my workouts made the biggest difference in how good I looked. Even after just a month, I could see the difference. The key is to have a progressive overload, where every single set you try and either do more reps or more weight. To do this progressive overload successfully, you have to be very diligent about tracking your workouts. And this is where the FitBod app really excels. It does a great job. If you know the exercise plan that you want to do, the FitBod app is absolutely perfect for planning it and tracking it. It lets you pick the exercises, swap them out, pick the machines that you have in the gym. It just works perfectly for that kind of flexibility. And if you don't know exactly which workout plan you want to do, it has some great plans built into it that you can customize and swap out exercises very easily. Now, when it comes to a rating, I have to give the FitBod app a 3.5 out of 5. And there are other people that this might be the most useful app for them and they may give it a 5. But for me, the big thing that it was missing was meal tracking. Having an app that does both your exercise plan and your meal tracking together makes a ton of sense. If you don't mind having 2 separate apps, you could easily pair this with something like MyFitnessPal. Now, the important part is how much does it cost? So FitBod costs $8 per month, or if you end up doing a yearly plan, it is $95.99 per year. Now, this is a subscription cost, but I understand why you have to do a subscription, even if I don't like it. During this fitness journey, I started watching a lot of YouTube videos. And the ones that really stood out to me were the Built with Science videos. I loved how they had this science-based approach. And even better, I found out they had an app, so I had to try it for this experiment. The cool thing about this app is that it has exercise plans that are built by the team over at Built with Science, and they're using science to figure out what is the best way for you to grow as fast as possible. It also incorporates the meal tracking aspect, which I love, and it helps you do meal prep. It even has awesome recipes. The biggest thing that I've noticed for meals on the app is that it doesn't completely starve you of carbs. And that actually made me feel significantly better. When you're doing these heavy workouts, you need those carbs because they provide energy to you. And this is actually the best that I've felt in a very long time. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have tough days. Some of the exercises are hard, and the way that it actually tracks this progressive overload, it really pushes you to the next level, which is both awesome, but can make you ridiculously sore at the same time.
Never skip a leg day. Oh, ow. Freaking hate leg day.
When it comes to a rating, I give the Built with Science app a 6 out of 5. I know that's not technically possible, but this honestly probably changed my life. The way it forces you to actually eat better along with exercising is just exactly what I needed. It was perfect for me and my fitness journey. Now, the big question, I gave it such a great rating, but how much does it cost? Well, it's $20 per month if you pay monthly, or $189 per year. And while that is extremely expensive and a subscription, I still gave it 6 stars because it was honestly that life-changing for me. Their meal tracking section was so good. It really showed me how bad the Lumen one was, and it reinforced how much I needed to stop drinking beer. And that's why I have to review this one last item. While it's not quite a piece of tech, this next product was extremely important to my weight loss journey. And that is non-alcoholic beer. This one's from Athletic Brewing. While it's not quite as tasty as normal beer, it does really help quench those cravings. It turns out that alcohol causes your body to make more estrogen and cortisol. That is the primary cause for the dad bod look, which was my biggest problem, honestly. Athletic helps a ton with this. It curbs those cravings, and if you're drinking the light version, it only has 25 calories per beer. Now, this one is the Cerveza, and it's a little tastier, and it is at 60 calories per beer, which is still awesome. So when it comes to a rating, I give Athletic Beer a 4 out of 5. When it comes to cost, keep in mind it is a little more expensive than normal beer. It's about $15 for a 6-pack if you're to buy it at some place like Walmart. Also, you can get a subscription to it, so it just ships to you because there's no alcohol in it. They can mail it to you directly. If you do that, it's about $11 per 6-pack per month, but that varies depending on which type you get and several other factors. This is me at the beginning of this challenge. I was not happy with how I looked, and I also just felt bad. But after just 3 months of working out and eating right, I can't even express how much better I feel. And I think I look phenomenal. I've still got a long ways to go, but this is a great start. I started this journey at 204 pounds, and I was able to end it at 187 pounds. Now, that doesn't take into account all the weight that I've gained from muscle mass and also the creatine that I take that tends to keep a lot of water in. So I feel like that is a huge amount of fat loss. And again, I'm feeling way better than I have in years. The other plus side is that every exercise that I've done, I've gotten significantly better at. The amount of weight I can lift has gone up at least 10 to 20% on every single exercise across the board. Let's see what ChatGPT thinks my body fat percentage is before I started using tech to get healthier. Your body fat percentage appears to be the 20 to 24 range. Yeah, that might be a little generous. The moment of truth. 16 to 18%. While I love that you told me that, ChatGPT, I probably don't agree, but still, we can tell that there's clearly visible improvements. The journey was hard. I almost gave up several times, but I kept pressing on, and that's the important part, that you keep working and you keep striving to be a little bit better every single day. Through this challenge, I learned a couple of different things. I learned that really when you want to lose weight, the diet is the most important part. But lifting weights actually gave me the most visible change, as well as made me feel the best. Keep in mind that this was only 3 or 4 months of progress for me. While I had a lot of beginner gains, there's a lot farther I can go. I can keep getting stronger, and that should make me feel a lot better as I continue on. Now I have to do the real hard part, which is to continue on, keep motivated, and keep working out and getting stronger and getting better every day. And if you really want to start using VR for exercise, you're going to want to watch this video next.